So this is a video basically about Remdesivir, which everyone's been asking, what is the mechanism, how does it work, how does it help in COVID, why is it used, and a million other questions everybody has. So relax, this is an empty box. It doesn't have Remdesivir inside. And it comes in a standard box like this. It comes in a 100 mg standard dose. Now let me explain what does it do. So pardon my handwriting and my horrible drawings. This is how a membrane looks like of our cell. For everyone who's layman, our membrane is the cell membrane, which has two layers, and these are receptors. It looks like antennas. This is not exactly how it looks, but this is easier for explanation. These are receptors, and this is something called ACE2 receptors, to which the SARS-2 COVID virus binds. Every receptor is specific to an enzyme or a virus or a drug. Now there are two ways in which SARS COVID virus works. So one is it binds to the receptor, and one is it fuses with the membrane itself. I'll explain the one that binds to the receptor. So first it binds to the ACE2 receptors, and the external coating of the viral is gone, and only the RNA stays inside. So let me tell you, SARS-2 COVID is an RNA virus. There are two kinds of viruses, DNA and RNA viruses. So SARS-2 COVID is basically an RNA virus. Then the uncoating happens, which is basically the top layer is gone, and it releases the viral RNA. It's basically what is the genetic structure. After the viral RNA release, this is just genomic DNA. We're all made of genes, so this is the gene of the virus. It goes into replication mode. Now, how does one replicate? So we have something called, basically the viruses, we also have replication enzymes and replication whatever. Pardon my very bad teaching. So they have something called an RNA dependent RNA polymerase. Now what is an RNA dependent RNA polymerase? It's an enzyme called replicase. It helps the virus replicate itself and create more and more viruses. Now through this, the RDRP enzyme, it synthesizes new RNA, and this RNA is then incorporated into our cell's endoplasmic reticulum. Now, endoplasmic reticulum is a cell organelle that all animal cells have. And then after it's packaged by the endoplasmic reticulum, it's basically a factory. It's assembled and it's released out of the cell membrane. Hence, more viruses are created. Now, this is the reproduction of a virus. Now, there's another way. One other way was the membrane fusion, which just directly goes inside our cell. It binds to the endoplasmic reticulum, the RNA, and the Golgi complex. But that is not replication. That is only method of entry into our cell. And the only method of replication is this, the RNA-dependent RNA polymerase. Now, Remdesivir is also known as, every drug has another pharmacological name. Now, what is Remdesivir's pharmacological name? What am I saying? Is GS5734. Nobody needs to remember that. So just forget this. What is important is Remdesivir. Remdesivir is a nucleoside analog. Now, most of you will be asking me, what is a nucleoside? So we are all made of genes, RNA, DNA, and for that everyone knows. A nucleoside is something which most of us don't need to know except for us. It's a nucleo-based pyrimidine, and it has a ribose or a deoxyribose sugar. It's basically a protein, nucleo-base, and a sugar. Now forget that. It's also a prodrug. Now what are prodrugs? That means the drug is in an inactive form. Pro is inactive drug. It will not act immediately. It needs to convert into the active drug. That is what is going to act. Remdesivir, or this form, is the inactive form. It is converted to remdesivir triphosphate. That is the active form of the drug, which is the potent one. Now this is active. It has a triphosphate attached to it. Now the name of the potent remdesivir or remdesivir triphosphate is GS441524. This is what is the action hero, aka our Avenger. He's the one who's going to avenge us. He or she, I'm trying to be gender neutral here. It, okay, let's stick with it. It is going to save us in this time. Now, the main action of remdesivir triphosphate is it blocks RNA-dependent RNA polymerase. It has a wide spectrum action of a lot of RNA polymerases, but this is what is the key action of this in SARS-CoV. It's also used in a lot of other viral diseases, especially RNA viruses. That's the Ebola virus, that is EBOV, the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome virus, or the MERS-CoV, the SARS-CoV-1, and currently our most evil guy, SARS-CoV-2, our Thanos. So this is basically how remdesivir works. This is the basic. Now, remdesivir, or whatever you call him, we call him, what did we call him? Oh yeah, we called him Avenger. See, RDP, in short, triphosphate, acts on RDRP. How does it act? Now, this will bind to the polymerase. It will bind to an ATP. This is where it gets the triphosphate from. Remdesivir, the prodrug, will get its triphosphate or TP from our body's ATP, as ATP is the energy currency of our cell in very layman terms. It's all what pays for all our activities in our body. It's the energy currency. It's like money, basically. Chiching or whatever rupee you find convenient. This triphosphate binds to remdesivir. This remdesivir in turn binds to the RDRP, and together RDP TP plus RDRP is a binded complex. This will bind to RDRP, making this completely useless. It will negate the action of the RDRP. Thereby, what do we not get is a complete non-synthesis of new viral RNA. No new RNA means no more new viruses, because our endoplasmic reticulum will have no viral RNA to assemble and form new babies for the virus. So hence viral load or the number of viruses on our body decreases. This is very simple mechanism. I've tried to explain in my best sense of remdesivir. So this is how it acts. Its basic use is just to decrease the viral load, and it's found to be useful in SARS-CoV-2. EBOV also, Ebola, it was just used as a trial with not massive work on proof that it does work. But yeah, in SARS-CoV-2 it is found to be effective in a lot of patients, and a lot of patients have shown massive recovery with this virus, with this antiviral drug. I'm not saying this is the best or it's going to show effect in everybody, but yeah, it has successfully proven itself in our bad boy this time, that is Thanos, that is also SARS-CoV-2. Thank you. I hope you found this minutely helpful in some way.